Senior Ukrainian official defends speed of counteroffensive progress. As the sun rose over the battered landscapes of Ukraine, Mikhailo Podolyak, advisor to the head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, took to Twitter to defend the country's efforts. His words resonated with an underlying strength, recognizing the challenges yet affirming the resilience of the Ukrainian forces. He argued that the Russian army, once hysterically feared, was now being confronted and fought against effectively. It was a battle that demanded patience, he emphasized, assuring that the armed forces of Ukraine would ultimately prevail. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's voice joined the narrative, acknowledging in a video release that the counter-offensive was challenging and happening probably slower than many had hoped. His honesty was a stark contrast to earlier reports from Western officials who had painted a sobering picture of Ukrainian forces' struggle. The truth was complex, the road ahead uncertain, but the resolve of Ukraine remained unbroken. As the battles raged on, a renewed sense of determination emerged, a commitment to a mandatory and fair conclusion. Russia opens investigation into explosion at Moscow region industrial plant that left dozens injured. The serenity of a Moscow morning was shattered by a powerful explosion at the Zagisk optical and mechanical plant, northeast of the city. The number of injuries had risen to at least 45, with 6 in intensive care. Fear and uncertainty rippled through the community as emergency services scrambled to the scene. The blast was traced to a pyrotechnics warehouse within the plant, sparking an immediate criminal investigation by Russia's investigative committee. Speculation about the cause ranged widely, with some suggesting an unmanned aerial vehicle attack, but authorities were still determining the true origin. Governor Andrei Vorobyov described the explosion as very powerful, but declined to speculate further, leaving the determination to specialists. One thing is clear, he said, that the explosion was powerful and it was in the pyrotechnics workshop. The incident was a grim reminder of the risks associated with technological processes, casting a shadow over the plant that developed optical electronic devices. As investigators dug deeper, the search for answers grew more urgent, with the hope that lessons would be learned to prevent future tragedies. Second missile hit Pokrovska's emergency services worked at the scene, local official says. Darkness had just settled on the eastern Ukrainian city of Pokrovsk when the first Russian Iskander missile hit. Time was of the essence, and emergency service workers quickly responded, rushing to the scene to aid the injured. But just as the rescuers were getting to work, the unthinkable happened. Serhiy Dubrak, head of Pokrovsk City Military Administration, described the horror on his Telegram channel. The first missile hit at 1915, the second at 1952. This is a standard Russo-fascist scenario. 30-40 minutes between missiles. The second missile struck with cruel precision, hitting the very people who had come to save others. Buildings shattered, windows in many structures were smashed. At least 2,000 windows, Dobryak said. The destruction was immense, from residential buildings to the popular Drozhba Hotel and Corleone Pizzeria, both frequented by journalists. The numbers of dead and injured climbed. Among the 7 people killed were 5 civilians, a rescuer, and a serviceman. Pavlo Kirilenko, head of Donetsk Regional Military Administration, reported 81 injured, including 39 civilians, 2 children, 31 police officers, 7 rescuers and 4 military personnel. The aftermath was a scene of devastation. 12 multi-story buildings damaged, as well as a hotel, a prosecutor's office, a pension fund, a pharmacy, shops, cafes and cars. Andrei Omelchenko, a high-ranking emergency service official, was among the dead. Ukraine's national police paid tribute to the courage of those who had risked their lives, saying on Telegram, all of them were there when they were needed, putting their efforts into rescuing people. And the enemy struck again. The tragedy of Pokrovsk was a stark reminder of the merciless nature of the conflict.